What's your name? Aruna. Nice to meet you. Oh my god, my show. Are you with your boyfriend? Someone. Are you from? Dude, we're not from. We're searching for a good after party place.
Hello guys and welcome to the Overthink. This is your coach Aruna and today I'm going to be talking about 7 simple steps that you can take to start a conversation with any woman. Now before you even start a conversation, I want you to know that guys tend to overthink. We tend to overthink what women are going to be thinking, how do we impress them, should I say this, should I approach her, is this the right time? And when we think about all of this, we are unable to do the approach because we give our mind a lot of time to think about all the negative stuff. So if you're looking at a girl for a longer time, if you're looking at a girl, you're thinking about approaching her and you're just going through all those emotions that, hey, I hope the people don't see me approaching her. I hope no one looks at me. I hope there's no social pressure on her. I hope the boyfriend doesn't come in, or I hope I'm going to say the right words. Now, with all of this going in your mind, the more time you give your mind, it builds up. All the negative thoughts build up and it's a negative thought loop, alright? And with that negative thought loop, you are unable to take action. And by action, I mean just going out and approaching a girl, starting a conversation, talking to her, just saying hi to her. So I've come up with 7 easy steps that will help you start that conversation with that beautiful girl and not get stuck in the negative thought loop. Now, the first rule is the 3-second rule. And this has been there in the pickup community since a very long time, guys. And the 3-second rule is simply that once you look at a girl, you approach her within 3 seconds. Alright, you don't give your mind the time to think about negative things like if someone is watching you or if the boyfriend is coming in, because you have to understand if you're just waiting for the right moment, it's never going to happen. Alright, a lot of guys think about this, hey, I want to roll up like James Bond, I want to talk to her when she's not busy, but all of that shit doesn't really matter. If you are attracted to a girl, you should go and talk to her, say hi to her. Alright, follow the 3-second rule, because at the end of the day, the 3-second rule is not only going to help you let go of those limiting thoughts, but also a woman is looking at you. A woman is aware about her surroundings. She knows if a guy is looking at her. And if you approach her maybe after 2 minutes, 3 minutes of walking behind her or looking at her constantly, checking her out, she will term you as a creep. Once you approach her, that approach will fail because you've already looked at her so many times. She's seen you looking at her. She knows that you want to do something, you want to talk to her, maybe you want to approach her. And the moment you approach her, it builds a lot of social pressure on her because you've given it too much time. So don't give it too much time. And this happens with a lot of newbies too. They're in the field, they want to approach that beautiful girl. The girl is walking here and there and they start walking behind her. Guys, never do that. If you do that, you're going to land in a lot of trouble because if you're stalking someone, that's not game, alright? Game is something else, stalking is something else. So you have to understand the difference. And guys, I would suggest the next girl you see, the next beautiful girl you see, don't give yourself more than 3 seconds before you approach her. Now, a lot of guys might be like, okay man, I'm going to approach that girl in 3 seconds, but what do I talk about? What do I say? So the second thing is basically all you need to do is talk about relatable topics. Talk about common grounds that you have with the girl. Now, of course, when you're meeting a girl for the first time, you don't really know what's the common ground, but once you're doing game, you're approaching multiple girls, you will have an idea of what a girl would relate with. Now, for example, a simple topic that you can talk about is asking her about her day, asking her about herself and sharing insight about yourself. And then once you understand about her, you can also talk about some common topics. Maybe she's a reader, alright? Maybe you know about a book that you read. So talk about that book. Maybe she's into something else. Now guys, it's very important to shift topics constantly because you don't know what's going to click with the girl. You don't know what's going to be a relatable ground because you're meeting her for the first time. And that's why the free flow activity that we make you do in the programs and also on YouTube, we have spoken about that. You have to constantly shift topics. Now, we make you practice this because once you're in the field, you're talking to a beautiful girl, you gotta constantly shift topics because if you don't shift topics, you will not get to know which topic she's more interested in and where you can elongate the conversation. So make sure when you're talking to a girl, always think about this small question. What is value for her? Alright, how can I add value? Rather than taking something out of the conversation, how can I add more value in this conversation? And then you will get to know a lot of these girls, like a lot of girls you're approaching in the daytime, in the nighttime, will have some common ground. Alright, a lot of girls will fall into frames. And once you understand about framing, now guys, this is an advanced concept. Once you understand about framing, and we have made one video about this, so check it out. I'll make sure to add this video over there. Once you understand about framing, you will have a clearer idea about what different girls relate with. And if you want to know more about what would relate to any girl, if you want to know about these common topics that would relate to any girl, then you should go online on the Overthink.com. I'll make sure to add a link and you should download the ebook that we have written on conversations. Right now we have not named it, so just go there, download it, and I'm sure you will understand a lot of things that you can talk to a girl about. Now, a lot of guys, even after talking about something relatable, they would say, hey man, I'm running out of things to say. I don't know what to say next. So for that, I would suggest that you follow the chain of association. Now, the chain of association, guys, it's really simple. What it is basically that you're talking to the girl, you're getting more information about her. For example, hey, what do you do? Oh, she says, I'm a writer. Oh, that's interesting. Have you written anything till now, or what is your favorite book? I'm sure that a girl who's a writer would also be a reader. So for example, she says, I'm a writer, whatever words she ends on, I will pick that word and I will expand on that word. I will elongate the conversation on that word. That will give me some substance to talk about, and that's what you should do. Now, a lot of guys miss out on this. A lot of guys, probably say something to the girl. They're thinking about, hey, how do I impress her? And they're not thinking about all of this. How do I, carry the conversation forward? How do I talk about relatable topics? Instead of thinking about impressing her, all of these things are going to help you more in that conversation. Now, when I see beginners going out and doing an approach, all I see is they just keep asking the questions. They're just, hey, what do you do? Oh, where are you from? Oh, that's interesting. Who are you with right now? But you have to understand that it looks an interview mode conversation. It looks like you're taking an interview of a stranger, and it should not look like this. A conversation is not really a conversation if only one person is investing and you're not investing anything. You're just the one who's asking questions. It will not go forward. It will not go to the direction you want to take it. So instead of asking questions, what can you do better? Have assumptions, right? For example, if I meet a girl, I'm not going to tell her, hey, are you from Delhi? I'm not going to ask her this question. I'm probably going to ask her, you look like you're from the mountains. You look so beautiful. Are you from the mountains? Now you see what I did over here. All I'm doing is I'm adding a little fluff before the question. And apart from that, I'm making an assumption. I'm making the conversation more interesting. And rather than just asking a yes or no question, I'm also asking an open-ended question. It's like an open-ended question because she has to invest more over here. And then she will definitely be more interested to invest because I'm also adding a slight validation spike, a slight compliment that will make her feel good about herself. So she will invest more in the conversation. Now, another thing that will give you a lot of substance when you're talking to a girl is observing her. I see a lot of new guys that, really not doing this. They really don't observe what she's wearing, how she's looking, what is her attire, what does she do. Then, you can get all of this information just by observing her. Now, I know that's a little bit advanced observation, but for now, what I see in a lot of new guys' game is that they go up to the girl and they're in their heads. Am I saying the right words? Am I going to impress her? Does she like me, or is she thinking negative stuff about me? When they're in the conversation, they're thinking about all of this. And if you're thinking about all of this, you will not be able to observe her. And if you don't observe her, that will not give you enough substance to talk about something more. So when I'm talking to a girl, basically I'm observing her. I'm observing her attire. I'm observing her behavior. I'm observing everything about her. And that gives me a lot more substance to talk about. It gives me an idea about what she does. It's not 100% accurate, but it gives me a vague idea about what she does, which industry she's from. It also gives me an idea about, is she in a rush? Is she getting late? And I can talk about that as well. Now, guys, understand if you're talking about something that she's wearing, if you're talking about something that you've observed in her behavior, then definitely she would want to invest more in that conversation rather than run away from it. Now, I also see guys going out there approaching girls and talking about all logical stuff. And to talk to girls, they're trying to be very logical about everything. Now, guys, you have to understand, girls love when a guy makes them feel different ranges of emotions. Alright, they don't want a guy who's just talking about logical stuff, because at the end of the day, that logical explanation conversation is going to repel a girl. She's not going to be interested in the conversation. She's going to get repelled. She's going to be thinking, hey, I don't really want to have this logical conversation. But if you try to engage an emotional mind of a woman, and how can you do that? By talking about a story or something that is important for you, something that is more emotional to you. So I also feel that when I'm talking to a girl, I'm talking about something that is, deeply emotional to me. What will happen is the girl automatically is more invested in that conversation because I am automatically more invested in that conversation. So if I'm sharing something, emotional experience with you, you will be more engaged in this video because I will be more engaged when I'm delivering that, emotional story that actually has some emotional value for me. So try going out and try this. Try talking to a girl about your emotional experience, and you will see how the conversation is a bit different than, if you're talking about just logical stuff. And the last thing I would want to tell you guys is when you're going out approaching that beautiful girl, be congruent. And guys, I've said this enough in my videos and I'll say this again. It only means that your thoughts, your words, and your actions are all aligned. You're in peace and harmony with your thoughts, words, and actions. Now, what does that mean? For example, if I'm going out and approaching a girl and my thoughts are like, hey, I'm nervous, I'm shit scared, no, I don't know how to do this. And my words are like, hey, you, come here, I want to talk to you. And my actions are like, hey, you, come here, I want to talk to you. Now, what is happening over here is my thoughts are, I'm scared. My words are, I'm trying to be more confident. And my actions are, I'm trying to project that confidence. Now, what will happen is a girl will see that, a girl will figure out that this guy is pretending to be someone he's not. And that is where you'll get a lot of shit test, right? You'll get, completely blunt rejections where the girl is like, hey, I don't want to talk to you. So how do you work around this thing? Now, very simple thing to do is if you're feeling scared, if you're feeling anxious, rather than trying to suppress that emotion, embrace it completely, all right? Go up to the girl and be like, hey, you're the first girl I'm talking to today, and it's funny, I'm anxious, I'm really nervous. Now, two things will happen with this. The first thing is you're not suppressing that emotion, all right? right? You're not suppressing that emotion. Instead, you're embracing that emotion, so you will automatically be more confident because now you don't have anything to hide. You've already shown her your vulnerable side. Second thing that is going to happen is you're not going to overcompensate for that nervousness or for that anxiousness. And I see a lot of guys walking in the field trying to approach that beautiful girl. They're so nervous that they're talking so fast to overcompensate for that nervousness that the girl cannot understand what they're saying. And for that reason, the girl rejects them and they don't know what's going wrong in the game. So guys, I hope in this video it's very clear for you how to start that conversation with that beautiful girl that you see in the bar or in the daytime location. And apart from that, guys, if you have not downloaded the conversation ebook that we've written, go to the link in the pinned comment section below, click the website, key in your email, key in your name and download that ebook because that's going to really help you in your game. This is your coach Arnav and I hope to see you in the field.